Hey, this is David Beckham, BreezeFlippers, back in my office. It's the midweek update. I'm sure a lot of you guys are on Facebook, Instagram, different places, and you follow some of these pages, especially on Facebook. I don't know why, but I follow them on Facebook, and I get triggered all the time by these posts that people make, and when they're just complaining about fees. And then you go and they show their fees, and they show what they paid, and you're just sitting there going, I don't get it. I don't get it. Why are you complaining about this? You're the one that did it. You can control your fees. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. It's going to be my little rant today. So I'm also going to talk a little bit about another book. This is a book that I'm starting to read as well. I've been reading through the Hot Wheels one I told you guys about last week, but this one is really cool. So I love toys, I love collectibles, and there's a whole bunch of things in here. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about what's sold and anything else that kind of comes to mind. So let's get into it.
BreezeFlippers, oh what a ride. Sunset hustled by the seaside. Board in hand, deals on deck.
Since I haven't shipped yet, I thought I'd show what actually sold. So then we'll talk about the other things that have shipped since yesterday. So first thing we sold was a Pillow Pets Pkwy's 11. This is another one of the Pillow Pets. It sold for $19.99 plus $5.99 shipping. This is Pkwy's Shark Gray. It's a little plush. It's really cute. New with tags. Again, ones my daughter picked up at the thrift store, Goodwill, in Tuscaloosa. Also sold, finally, getting rid of all these. Now, this actually was a good buy. I paid $15 at a garage sale. If you can't see it, you can kind of see it. This is a My Little Pony. I paid $15 for a box about this big, about that deep, at a garage sale that had a whole bunch of blind bag My Little Ponies in there. And I'm telling you, it sat on the shelf for 6 months, didn't know what to do with it, and then finally my daughter said, I'll just sort them for you, and because she knows My Little Pony. So she sorted them all out and put them in little groups. I put them in groups of 8, and I sold a bunch of them. I was selling them for $15 to $16 in groups of 8, 6 to 8, and I sold almost all of those. And then there were some specific ones that were individual. Now this one didn't sell for a lot. It's been in there for a while. $4.19, $4.99 shipping, and it's a My Little Pony Twilight Sparkle 2-inch purple little deal. So not going to complain. We also had a game sale, which I'm kind of happy. I'm starting to post some more games. I got some more games to list. I'm also selling some more games on DibDib. But this one is a PS3, PlayStation 3 games. These are shooter games, a lot of 4. There's Syndicate, let's see, there's Syndicate, Saints Row, Mafia 2, and Lenore. So I kind of called it the Mafia pile, the Mafia set. So anyway, it went for $16.19. It'll get $5.99 shipping. So I said this before, and I truly believe it, that when things start selling, I think they just keep selling. Now this hat, again, this isn't a huge seller, guys. It's not a lot of money. I didn't pay very much for these hats. I mean, I'm into them for maybe a quarter each. I bought 25 or 30 of them, of the same hat. And there's one listing. So one listing multiple times over and over. It seems like I'm selling at least one of these a week. So that's kind of cool. So this one went out for $6.64. I get $4.99 shipping. I don't have it. The hats are so easy to ship. You just I put a little thing inside of them and just send them out. I mean, they're very, very easy to ship. So, and last but not least, I hadn't sold one in a while. I'm kind of happy this one sold. So this is a Playboy magazine. It's got Kim Basinger on the front. Went out for $14.99, and these go out free shipping. So it's going to Colorado, so $6 maybe, I don't know, we'll see. So that's going to go out as well. So we also sold yesterday, like I said, things kind of come in on Mondays and Tuesdays. Only one thing sold on Monday, but it was I'll put it up on the screen. It was a game of life, and it's called the Quarter Life Crisis board game. So it was brand new. Basically it's just it is life, the game of life, but kind of a more modern and a little bit more of a spoof on it. But anyway, that actually sold for $29.99, and I believe it had free shipping on it. It only cost like $6 to ship, so it was perfect. You got to have the right size boxes for those. So I have some 16-inch boxes, fit perfectly in there. It kind of tilted up a little bit, but it fit fine, so it went. And then yesterday we sold Game of Thrones visuals from RPG PS3 video games. So it's a hardcover art book, kind of rare. Hadn't had it for a while, so I had it on sale. I think it's on 25% off. Ended up selling for $10.49, and I believe we got either $4.99 or $5.99, $5.99 shipping for that. So that's what's been going out so far. So far, it's actually been good. Today, it's been pop, pop, pop. So, but it's Wednesday, middle of the week, so we'll kind of see what's going on. So I will, once I get these shipped, we'll go back and finish the rest of the video and talk a little bit about the subject that I want to talk about today. So I think I forgot to tell you the total. So far, we got $145.44 in, so not too bad. 7 sales. Not gonna complain. It's gonna be a good week. I feel like it's gonna be a good week again. We had a good week last week. Let's hope it's a good week this week as well. So the rant that I was having is a little bit about fees. Okay, so I'm not ranting about the fees because I've been in business. I've known what fees are and doing other things. I just was shocked at some of these things that I read, and I don't know what triggered me last night while I was laying in bed reading it, and I wanted to comment on it, but the admins had already shut it down, and it just said something like, just look, and it was like they listed out the fees. Okay, so they sold a $200 item, they got charged fees. They didn't even tell what the category was, but you know that on eBay, you're going to pay between 13 and 15% fees. That's just typical. You're going to pay an insertion fee, depending on if you have a store or not, what level that insertion fee is, you're going to pay an insertion fee. So it's usually 25 cents, 35 cents. It could be 40 cents, depends on how many you have. Then you're going to pay that 13 to 15% per sale. That's it. So if you have a store subscription, it's going to cost you anywhere from $5.99 a month to $21 or $3,000. It goes all the way up. So it just depends. Your fees are your fees, right? So I sit there and I look at it, and I always try to comment on these because it drives me nuts, right? I just cannot get over somebody complaining about fees. So if you were to start your own website, you would not have, until you paid out some money, you would have to do a lot of advertising. You'd have to build the right website. You'd have to, whether it's Shopify or whatever, you got to get the traffic to your website. eBay brings the traffic all over the world. I've shipped stuff in this past 2 months everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Canada, overseas, Italy, I mean, everywhere. So I don't have to worry about trying to do that. So for 13 to 15%, if you understand what you're selling and where you're selling, you're not going to, the fee should not surprise you. No one should be surprised by the fee. Now, if you're doing 10 to 15 or 20% promotions, you shouldn't be surprised by the fee. This person did a 10% promotion on a $200 item. You're going to pay $20+ in fees for just the promotions part. So if you're buying stuff that's not going to convert, or if it converts and you're paying a lot of money for it, you're not going to have a big profit margin. I mean, that's just business 101, guys. I mean, none of you guys are doing this, I'm sure, right? So nobody's complaining and writing this on Facebook. I sure wouldn't put it out there. I wouldn't want all the people to kill me. The comments on this person, it slayed them. No one was saying, oh yeah, the fees are too high. They were all saying, you got to be kidding, right? Your fees are right where they're supposed to be. If you go on eBay's help page, you can actually go on and see what the fees are. And for most categories, including eBay Motors, it's 13.6% of the sale. And yes, that includes shipping. That includes everything. It's all 13.6 of the total amount of the sale, period, up to $7,500. And it's 2.35% on the amount over $7,500. So if you sold a car, you're not paying 13.6 on the entire 10,000. You're only paying 13.6% up to 7,500, and then over 7,500 is 2.36. It would behoove you guys, or anybody that's doing this, just to go in and read what the fees are, so you know that the things that you're selling, what you're gonna make. For books and magazines, it is a little high, 15.3%. But maybe the reason, I'm not sure why it's a little higher, because maybe the category's a little bigger. It's movies, TV, and music as well. But again, they have that $7,500 rule. So anything over that, you get 2.35%. And then for something that I sell a lot of in comics and collectibles, it's 13.25%. I just know that, right? So I don't worry. Trading cards is the same way. Jewelry and the more expensive things are 15%. So if you're looking at what you do, and as far as your business, if you kind of just in your head, I just automatically say my fees are going to be 15% of the item. Total, right off the bat. And if I'm promoting at 5%, I know I'm at 20% in right now. So on a $100 item, I mean, if you just look at the dollar wise, I mean, this isn't exact math, guys. You can do your own exact math. I just know that 20% of that sale is going to go to fees. Now, as a top seller, I also know that if my fees were 15% of $100 at $15, I'm going to get back 5% of those fees based on being a top seller. So, and because I do all the free and I do all that, so that's going to come back to me off that total fee amount. So I'm going to get back what, 75 cents or something like that. I can't remember the total, but it's enough to makes a difference over a lot of sales. It makes a little bit of a difference. It does help. So know your fees. Just go into the help page. You go into the eBay help page. You can go to the very top where it says your name, and you can go daily deals, brand outlet, gift cards, help and contact, type in fees. You'll see exactly what fees you're paying so that you would know. It's not that hard. I mean, go in and try to figure it out. Because when people are saying, well, I was shocked by the fees, you should know what the fees are. But listen, you can go out and do a brick and mortar building, a brick and mortar business. You can go out and do that. That's easy. We had a brick and mortar business. It was horrible. We paid $850 a month every month for rent, whether there was a customer or not. And the basket business we had was a gift basket business. So all the sales we made weren't walk-in sales. They were basically, my wife had to go out and make the sales, period. She'd go out and sell baskets, big groups of baskets, and, you know, get companies to do gifts and things like that. So, you know, the business was good, but every month we paid that $850 and utilities, water, electricity, phone. We had to have all that, right? And then we had to have business insurance. We had to have all of that. We paid fees for everything that we had to do. I mean, there was just fees. So, I mean, before we even made a profit, we were already out the door probably, because we had everything that we had to put in expense-wise, probably $1,600, $1,700, $1,800. And then once we got all that through, then we were hoping that we had enough sales to cover it. So, you know, to me, paying 15%, it's not that big a deal. Paying 20%, 25% is not that big a deal, right? And if you don't like the fees there, I guess you can always go somewhere else, because what is it on Poshmark? 20% automatically? So, or Mercari, I don't even know what the fees are there anymore because I don't sell, like 10%. Something along that line. But, you know, this is the reality, guys. So there's always going to be fees. There's always going to be something. You can go start a website. You can open up your own Shopify. You can do all that. But you got to drive the traffic. They're not driving the traffic for you. And some of these e-commerce sites you can get on can probably do that. If you have a very special product, maybe you can shoot that out there and get that. There are other places you can go. I could go to a lot of different places and sell comics. I could go on Hip Comics. I could go all kinds of places. I could probably sell comics and pay about the same fees as eBay. It's close to it, but probably not make as many sales. I sell a lot of comics on Dibdit. I don't pay as much over there. So there's an option. If you want to pay less fees, go sell on Dibdit. You're not going to sell a lot of static sales. I don't make a lot of static sales. I've made just a few, but I do very well on the auctions, and I don't pay a huge amount on those either. So I have options, but I know what my fees are. So if I'm selling a $200-300 comic book, I know I'm going to pay some fees on it, and I know what I paid for it. So I know I probably have like a $200 or $300 comic book. Some of those I probably have maybe $50-60 in. So I know that if I can double that or make a little bit more, I'm happy with the profit. So I think that's one of the things that, just like I said, kind of drove me nuts. And last night, I don't know why it triggered me in my head. I'm like thinking, you know what? I just feel like I need to say something about it. And whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I don't know. You may disagree with me. If you disagree with me, let me know. If you agree with me, I appreciate it too. But I just, you know, I just feel like that we put so much emphasis into fees, when in reality, that's just part of the business. So, and you know what? I'm happy because eBay brings me the buyers. They bring me the buyers. As long as I put in a good product at a good price with a good listing, and maybe I use between 2 and 5% promotion, I don't care. It gets the views. At the past 3 months, I've had over 15 million impressions, I believe. So just using promotions, and some of those, and the click-through has been very, very good on them. So not going to complain about that. They bring me the traffic. I don't have to do anything to get that. I just have to put the good stuff on there and price it the way that it needs to be priced. That's it, guys. So anyway, you know, if you see those on there and they trigger you as well, I'd love to hear about it. But I don't know why it just really, last night just irked me. And maybe it was because I just finished with an auction, and it was a good auction. I was tired and I had stuff to do, and I was laying there in bed trying to wind down or reading stupid eBay post about eBay. I was like going, I don't get it. So anyway, enough of that. That's my rant for the day. So, all right, guys, this is the next thing I want to talk about real quick. And this is the Picker's Pocket Guide to Toys. So like these other ones, I love the compactness of these little books. First of all, they're easy to kind of haul with you. Now this isn't, somebody asked about, what would you do? What would you use, your phone, or would you use the book if you were in a yard sale? I would definitely use my phone, right? But this is to help you build knowledge, right? So if you're getting this book, you're building knowledge. And this one's cool because I love it, because it talks all about like the top collectible toys by the decade, their values, like 10 toys, dolls, teddy bears, premium toys, some vintage video games. It talks a little bit about that. And that's an area that I'm definitely interested in. So, and then talks a little bit about Barbies. It talks some about some of the different figures and different things. It gives you pickers tips, talks all about games. I found this book to be extremely fascinating, and I've read through part of it, and it's got a whole section on turtles even. So I think that, again, the whole point of this, and Legos too, the whole point of this and me trying to share this with you guys is to kind of help you build your knowledge, right? And I'm the same way I build my knowledge. You can use AI, you can use Google Lens, you can use eBay, but you can only have so much time when you're at a garage sale. And if you're spending all your time looking up every item you touch, you're going to be at that same garage sale forever, and you're going to miss out opportunities at other garage sales. So that's why I try to build my knowledge by reading through things and kind of picking up on stuff. Now, I learn a lot too by watching you guys and people that are out there. If you have a video or if you have a YouTube channel and you're showing what you're picking, I learn a ton. I learn a ton from watching, Kevin Commonwealth Picker. I mean, I see the stuff he picks up and I'm like going, he does pretty good with his eBay business. So I kind of pay attention. I pay attention in my friend's Pick Paradise down in South Florida. I see the stuff that he picks up at flea markets and sales. So these are the things that I kind of learn, I'm like, this is pretty good. I mean, I put those things in memory. They kind of, I try to say, oh, when I see that, I don't have to look it up. I go, I know somebody picked one of those up and they did pretty good with it, right? Because again, I'm going to try to remember as much as I can because I don't want to have to use my phone for everything. Now, do you have to every once in a while when you're at a sale? Mm-hmm. But a lot of times if you're in an estate sale, I've been in so many estate sales recently where for whatever reason, your phone does not work in their house. And I swear sometimes I think they put a blocker in there to block cell phone signals because I do not ever get a signal in some of these houses, and it doesn't do you any good if you can't look it up. You have to go outside to look something up. So you kind of have to go on your gut. So anyway, this is a good book. If you get a chance, take a look at it. I'll put the link in the show notes so that you guys can go over there. And yes, it's affiliate link. I would earn maybe 15 cents if you do end up buying it. It's a reasonable book too. It's under $15. And but like I said, I kind of have my whole library now. I've got a library of books. So I've talked about all of these and I put links out there for all of them. But all of these books, these are all so handy. The comic book, learning about comics, the toys, the Star Wars one, I'm still learning about that. I'm still reading through the Hot Wheels one as well. So I love these books. I think they're well written and they're well done. And I think there's a good tool for you guys and for anybody that wants to learn about those subjects and just kind of improve your knowledge base. So I hope that they help you. And leave me a comment if you've looked through them or if you've actually got them or if you do them, or if you have a book or something, even a website or something that you're learning from, share it with everybody. That's what I love about this community. We all kind of share things. We talk through things. We talk about our ideas. This is the first time I ever had a rant. So I'm sorry if that's what it was, but it just, I don't know why. Just rates, the rate fees just don't bother me because I know what the rates are before I put an item in there. I'm not going to sell it and short myself. So I know that I'm going to pay 20-25% of whatever I'm selling. So make sure you get the price for it. Anyway, that's my rant. But listen, I hope you guys are doing great. I hope this week is great. I'm working on some picking videos. I have a bunch of them. It's just a matter of time. It's just been crazy. We've been trying to get in at least 3 auctions a week. I'm doing at least 2 comic auctions a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then Friday, we're doing kind of an everything auction on Dibdit at 8 p.m. Central Time. We're calling it cleaning out the death pile. So we're moving a bunch of stuff that I don't feel like listing because listing it, I'm not going to, the money that I'm going to get for them and you know, paying shipping and everything else is going to be probably better to sell on DibDit, because I'll let somebody else take that and they'll sell it, you know, and do well with it, or collect it, or whatever they're going to do with it. So we're going to sell a bunch of that stuff. I do have some more video games that we'll sell, and then some plush and some books and some other media and different kind of toys and different things. We're just going to go through our death pile and say, what can we move? So we're going to do that and have that fun on Friday night. I'm going to see if I can get a friend to co-host with me, but we'll see if I can get Slim Flippers to do that or not. I've tried to send him a message today. We'll see what he says. So anyway, that's what's going on with us. I hope things are going great with you. I hope that you have a successful and a great week and a safe one. I'm David Beckham, BreezeFlippers. We'll see you.
BreezeFlippers.